Hello and welcome to another Pauper video. Today I'm talking about the 5-0 deck dumps. This is the winners metagame for the Magic Online Pauper Leagues. Plus, we've also got a little bit of extra data from the challenges, courtesy of Curblinks, who I can link in the description below, but they've been doing an awesome job putting together really detailed data for the Pauper challenges. Before we get into all of that, remember, this video is brought to us by cardmarket.com, the largest seller of Magic the Gathering cards in Europe. So if you want to get a battle box going for yourself or pick up cards, definitely check them out if you're in Europe. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the metagame. First, let's check out the Pauper showcase over here. So this was the Pauper showcase. It had over 100 players, and the top of the metagame was Kuldotha Red, second Boros Glitters. That's relatively expected. Boros Glitters almost twice as popular as the third most played deck, which was Golgari Gardens, and then Kuldotha Red was a little bit more than that. So we're looking at 26-ish, 27% of the metagame being these two decks, with Kuldotha Red having a 54% win rate, including the mirror in the event. That's really high. But Boros at 47-ish, not very high at all. Then the metagame going down, got two control decks with Golgari Gardens and Jeskai, Kagate, Dimir Terror, and Goblin Combo from there. With Goblin Combo posting a really ridiculously high win rate. And then underneath that, we have Turbo Fog, which also had a very high win rate. So of the top meta percent, it looked like Goblin Combo just did the best, which was really surprising. Then we have a couple of Boggles players just absolutely crushing. Jeskai Glitters doing well. A Singleton Cycle Storm player just crushing. Is it Faye crushing? These players did really well. In the challenges over the entirety of the weekend, we had Kuldotha Red at 17.4% and Boros Glitters at 10.6%, with Jeskai Ephemerate coming in at 9%, Golgari and Dimir Faye all at 9%. So it looks a little bit more flat as far as the meta goes, with Kuldotha being way high in general. And then both Kuldotha and Boros with positive win rates. Kuldotha at 52-ish% without mirror, and then Boros 53.5% without the mirror. So those are both pretty respectable win rates. Then these three control decks here not doing well at all, with like all red over here, and then Kagate doing very, very well. Not too surprising because they can handle both Kuldotha and Boros with strands, so I feel like that's probably pretty good. And then we have once again the Goblin class combo just crushing again. That's very interesting to see. So in general, we have a metagame defined by Glinhawking our synthesizers, or just playing the synthesizers and handling that with our Kuldotha and just like going wide from there. So let's see if the league is about the same. So for the league metagame, we've got 20 trophies with Boros Synth, 20 trophies with Mono Red. This puts them each at almost 17%. The next most trophy deck was Golgari Gardens at 5.9%. So we're looking at nearly 3 times as many trophies with 20 over 7. That's pretty wild. Glitter's Affinity putting up 5.9%. And of the Boros Synth players, only one of them was not playing all the Glitters. Just interesting to note. Then coming down from there, we've got Turbo Fog, Jeskai Ephemerate, and Goblin Class Combo. So you can see that a very large portion of the metagame is these two decks. So in general, I would say that the metagame looks what we would describe generally as healthy, although these strategies are taking up a very large amount of it. And then let's go ahead and get into the day-to-day. So we had a total of 118 decks that got trophies. On day one, we had 2 Boros Synths, and this was the only time that one pilot was not playing all the Glitters. 2 Golgari Gardens, 2 Glitter Affinity, 2 Blue X Fae, actually 3 Golgari Dredges here, or multicolor dredges, as you can see. 1 White Weenie, Els, Turbo Initiative, and 1 Dimir Terror. So spice-wise, the 1 4-color dredge here from Giorgio Combo, who is obviously a combo player. They decided not to play any Exhumes and not to play Mire Triton. They're on 15 lands, playing 4 of Rubble Belt Maverick, and they told me in our Familiars Discord that they're trying to just do the thing in game 1 and then handle it post-board. Interesting to see 4 snuff outs, and then they've got a bunch of random stuff in the sideboard with the 4th Lotla Giant in the sideboard, which is interesting to see. Over here, this is the Turbo Initiative deck. It's not too much different than other times. I think it's about the same deck. They have gone on up to a Generous Ent as well, only playing 3 Trailblazers Torches. They've still got Goblin Bushwhacker, Burning Tree, Namesticker Goblin, 4 Bolt, 4 Braid. The sideboard, they have 4 Hidden Spider, I guess for Boros. That's interesting to see that that goes up to 4 here. And then on day 2, we've got 3 Golgari Gardens, 2 Boros Synth, 2 Fae, 2 Izzet Terror, and the rest are all one-ofs with Mono Red, Turbo Fog, Goblin Combo, Dimir Terror, a Mardu Synth deck, Bant Gates, which was cool, and a Dimir Control deck. So this is the Goblin combo deck that Hamuda has been playing, and Basu got the sideboard guide from. And this is using Mesmeric Fiend as a duress effect that you can actually sacrifice. So you can sacrifice it with the effect on the stack, and then they never get their card back, which is pretty cool. So they have 3 duress effects, with 2 of them being Mesmeric Fiend. They're playing Fanatical Offering, so 7 Deadly Dispute style effects, but 3 of them being Fanatical Offering, which is cool because you can use the map token to reset a Skirk, or not, a Putrid Goblin, which can be useful to sacrifice it and then reset it. Also has a Bajuka Bog in the main deck, and then some more duresses and a bunch of Pyroblast effects in the sideboard. Here's your Mardu Metalcraft or Mardu Synth, playing Cleansing Wildfire over the Gates package, and just 8 creatures plus 2 Karkland Shamans to wipe the board. So they're pretty focused on being a control deck. We got a 4-color Ephemerate / Bant Ephemerate. This is basically Bant Gates with counter spells, no looping, and no Ephemerates. So it's using Coiling Oracle to ramp and then get in. Guardian of the Guild Pact, they do have Ephemerate here, but no Archaeomancer. So pretty interesting. They're playing 4 Tangles as a fog effect. It's really cool. It's definitely a deck I'm interested in playing. I know that they worked on this for a while before actually getting a trophy. On day 3, things start to get extreme. We have 5 Boros Synth pilots with trophies, 2 Turbo Fog, and then one-ofs for Golgari Gardens, Glitter Affinity, Flickertron, Mono Blue Terror, Altertron, and Blue-White Familiars. So this Altertron deck by Rubens Neto, he is using 2 Foundry Inspector here, which says artifact spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. And this can make it a lot easier to actually combo on Magic Online, because you can make infinite mana a lot faster. And then with 2 Foundry Inspectors in play, you could just cast Mirror Retrievers forever, not doing anything to generate mana. It's also got Impact Tremors as a win condition instead of Makeshift Munitions in the main deck, which is useful. I think if you were playing Blood Fountain, though, I would probably rather have the Reckless Fireweaver over the Impact Tremors, because Reckless Fireweaver you can get back with Blood Fountain. And he's not playing a Conjurer's Bauble. 4 Ancient Stirrings over any number of crop rotations, and just 16 lands, which I feel is really scary, but it seems like it worked out for them. Maybe this is a version that people would like to see, and if so, let me know. He's not playing any number of Weather the Storm in the main deck, instead of going for Candy Trail and Lembas. And not even Weather Storm in the sideboard. Wow. Playing Nature's Claim, Breath Weapon. Frantic Salvage doesn't make that much sense to me, but maybe that's a holdover from them playing Eggs before. And then some Fangren Marauders for actual life gain. 2 Conjurer's Bauble, so maybe they can Conjurer's Bauble salvage, stuff like that. On day 4, we have... Let's scroll over. Okay, we've got 6 mono reds. So Burn is back, baby. We got 3 Boros Synth and 3 Glitters Affinity. So basically 6 mono red and 6 all Decklists decks. Then we have 2 Turbo Emblem, which is you've got a red-green Turbo Initiative and a Naya Turbo Initiative. Golgari Gardens, Jeskai Ephemerate, Mogwarts, Dimir Fae, Flickertron, Dimir Terror, Gruul Ponza, Blue-White Familiars, and Buggles all at 1. This Ephemerate-tron list was by EHGM, who has been playing a bunch of stuff. This looks like a list that's probably pretty similar to the R. Clint style list. So not too much spice over here. We have seen the Turbo Initiative decks before, but it's cool to see Tart get a trophy with familiars. They are usually a Fae player, but they're picking up familiars. And one thing I thought was interesting about their list is they're playing 2 Prohibit, 2 Lose Focus, and 2 Counterspells, so 6 counters in the main deck, supporting the whole thing just by playing Murmuring Mystic. And they're in 4 Lorien Revealed and 5 cantrips. So they don't really have any value creatures other than Muldrifter, but they can Merchant Scroll for any number of the counter spells or the Ghostly Flicker or Snap. I kind of want to know how that league went, to be honest. I feel like they're a little bit light on action, but it's definitely cool to see. On the next day, we have over here the top dogs of 5 mono red and 4 Boros Synth. Then we've got 2 Turbo Fog, 2 Mogwarts or Goblin Combo, 2 White Weenie, then 1 each of Elves, Gruul Ponza, Altertron, and Blackburn. So EHGM took the Altertron list from the other player and just ran it back for a 5-0. We've got 2 Goblin Combo decks, slightly different. And then over here we have a mono green Elves playing 4 Winding Way, no Lead the Stampede, and 2 Avenging Hunter. It's kind of interesting to see this deck's able to go off with no card draw whatsoever. They're just trying to get the stuff on the battlefield and make it happen. And Raketa is not Bokuinha. Raketa is an Elves player, Benoru, and they really like to play protection spells. They've got 4 Vines of Westwood and 2 Snakeskin Veil. Vines of Westwood is interesting because it has the ability to make an opposing creature not be able to be suited up by your opponent's all that glitters. So that's kind of an interesting way to handle that. And then we have a Blackburn from Tyrex. It's pretty standard Blackburn, it looks like, but it's cool to see Blackburns doing well. Happy for them. Blackburn is interesting because it gets around the Hydroblasts that are in the metagame. So if people are seeing a lot of burn, Blackburn is very good into regular burn since you're gaining a lot of life, but it also can't get hit by things like Hydroblast. So on day 6, we have 6 mono reds and 4 Boros Synth players, and then 2 ofs for Glitter's Affinity, Jeskai Ephemerate, Is It Terror, and Walls, with 1 ofs for Golgari Gardens, Turbo Fog, White Weenie Fae, Flickertron, Mardu Metalcraft, and Affinity. But Mardu Metalcraft is the Mardu Synth deck. The interesting thing here was the I believe, yes, the Ephemeratron right here, with Raptor 56 taking Brainstorm into Tron. So he's playing 4 Brainstorm, 4 Lorien Revealed to help with giving Tron a bunch of good card selection. For the last day, really not a lot of spice. We do have 1, again, of the Blue Terror from All in On, or All for None, with 4 Spellstutter Sprite in the main deck. And they're playing 3 Disrupt, which is an interesting old card. Counter target instant, interrupt, or sorcery spell unless its caster pays an additional 1 with draw a card. So it's draw a card for an instant. I mean, it's 4 spike that only hits instants and sorceries, and it draws a card. And then the actual trophies, we had 2 Synth, 2 Red, 2 Jeskai, and 2 Colgate, with 1 ofs for Gardens, Affinity, Goblin Combo, White Weenie, Elves, and Mono Blue Terror. And 420 was actually the week, the date of the showcase. So that probably means that's why there's not a lot of decks. There was only actually, I think, 15 decks or something, 14 decks. So that's probably why on that day it got a little bit slow. So that's the metagame for Pauper for the week of the 14th through the 20th. So if you like this content, definitely hit me up with a like and subscribe. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Maybe synthesizer is the thing that needs to be touched with so much of the metagame revolving around that specifically. Who knows? Anyway, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for coming.